The talks could shape what happens next in the conflict or expose just how fragile the ceasefire really is. So here's everything we know so far. 6 weeks ago, the United States and Israel launched strikes on Iran, triggering a wider regional war. The conflict quickly spilled beyond Iran and Israel and began affecting global energy markets. Iran restricted movement through the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important oil routes through which roughly 20% of global oil shipments pass. That disruption pushed energy prices sharply higher. Now, after a Pakistan-mediated 2-week ceasefire, Washington and Tehran are heading to negotiations even though tensions remain high. Talks are expected to begin Saturday in Islamabad, likely at the Serena Hotel inside the capital's high-security red zone. Security across the city has been tightened, key roads restricted, and parts of the red zone sealed off. Iranian officials say the negotiations could continue for up to 15 days, meaning this may become a longer diplomatic process rather than a single meeting. The United States delegation is expected to be led by Vice President J.D. Vance, along with envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. Iran is expected to send Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, a former Revolutionary Guard commander. Pakistan will act as the mediator. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is expected to host the delegations, while Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar will facilitate the negotiation. According to officials, the two sides may remain in separate rooms at first, with Pakistani officials passing messages between them, a sign of how little trust currently exists. Now, the two sides are arriving with very different demands. Iran has proposed a 10-point peace plan, which includes oversight of the Strait of Hormuz and limits on US military presence in the region. Washington, meanwhile, says Iran must give up its enriched uranium stockpile, something the White House calls non-negotiable. So the gap between the two sides remains wide. Pakistan has positioned itself as a bridge between Washington and Tehran. It maintains diplomatic relations with both countries, shares a border with Iran, and is also a major non-NATO ally of the United States. That combination has allowed Islamabad to step in as a rare intermediary in this crisis. One issue could derail the talks before they even start. Even after the ceasefire was announced, Israel intensified its strikes in Lebanon. Iran says these attacks threaten the ceasefire, but the Trump administration says Lebanon was never part of the agreement. That disagreement has already complicated the diplomatic process. Analysts say a full peace deal is unlikely right now, but the immediate goal is simpler: keep the ceasefire alive and prevent the conflict from escalating again. If the talks produce even limited steps towards de-escalation, that would already be a major outcome. So this is where things stand. Islamabad is preparing to host talks that could shape the next phase of one of the most dangerous conflicts in the region. The delegations are expected. Security is locked down. Pakistan is trying to mediate. But whether these negotiations lead to real progress or fall apart before they truly begin may depend on what happens both inside the room and on ground across the region.